Come and fly away with me. 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 Don't you be afraid, everything will change. You and I jumping off the edge. They say dreamers never die. So come and fly, come and fly, come and fly away with me. We're rising, we're falling.
We all delve into different animes as we're going along throughout our lives, whether it be we are following a group of characters, a bunch of young girls who are invested in light school music, but that hasn't actually spend the time studying music. They spend the time just drinking tea and just hanging with their friends instead of studying music like we're supposed to be doing, or whether it be we are following a character that suffers with chunibyo, who is finding it really hard to integrate into the real world and to form relationships with other people in the anime as they're going on, and they're finding it hard to deal with their own insecurities, or whether it be we are following a tutor who is finding himself not tutoring only one person but tutoring 5 in the anime as it goes along, all of them are sisters, or whether it be we are following characters in the anime that have special abilities, and it's down to one person that goes and helps all these other people deal with their special abilities and to help them from preventing them from using them for their own personal gains or getting themselves into some kind of trouble during the line. These are all animes that I've learned to love over the years, and for different reasons, which I'm going to be covering today. But I'm joined by my friend from Chocolate is Nice over on their YouTube channel, and we're going to be talking about these animes and a few more in this video. And my name is Lee.
And my name is Alex. I've been an anime fan for nearly 8 years now. I've watched quite a lot of anime. As you can see here, I've actually got a Studio Ghibli t-shirt on. And it says Studio Ghibli's 40th anniversary. So yeah, I'm a very big fan of anime. The very first anime that I watched was Death Note, and just from there I became super hooked.
As you can see, it's going to be a fun video, this one. It's called Talk Anime to Me, and this is exactly what me and my friend Alex are going to be doing. We're going to be talking about some of these animes and sharing them with all of you lovely people out there. But before we get into it today, if you find yourselves keep coming back to this channel, or if you're new and you like what you see, do me a favour, just hit the subscribe button and tick a little bell notification so you'll be updated whenever I upload a new video. And please go ahead and over to my friend Alex's channel, Chocolate is Nice, and drop him a sub. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into this one. And to kick this one off today, the first film that we're going to talk about is an anime film, A Silent Voice. A Silent Voice focuses on the character Shoko, who's a deaf girl, and she transfers into a high school, and she's bullied constantly by the protagonist of the film, who doesn't start off as a protagonist at first, Shoya. Him and his friends in school constantly are bullying Shoko to the case where it's getting physical, it gets out of hand, and it gets downright wrong what they do to this poor girl in the anime. But as the film progresses and we see him as an older character, and in the later half of the film he's trying to make amends with Shoko for everything he's done to her back in his school days. It's a fantastic film with some fantastic characters, a fantastic story, and the musical score is fantastic, and the animation is really good. And I'm going to take it over to Alex to go a little bit more about into this one. Alex, take it away, pal.
I have to agree with Lee that this, A Silent Voice, is a fantastic film. I highly recommend watching it if you haven't yet. It is honestly, truly, the art is absolutely stunning, and it has great characters as well. One of my favourite anime films of all time. In the first part of the film, I felt so bad for Shoko. She was just really treated awfully by the main character, Shoya. the very early scenes, you just really hate the main character, and you just cannot stand him. However, he actually develops a lot, and as the film goes on, he really improves a lot as a person, and he actually ends up becoming friends with the girl that he used to bully. Now, my favourite character in the anime has to be Shoko, though. She is such a cinnamon roll, and, you know, really just such a wholesome, adorable character. And you just really want to protect, and you feel so bad for the fact that she was treated so horribly, honestly. I'd also recommend reading the manga as well, if you haven't yet. The manga is an absolute really good read. I don't even read manga, but take it from me, the manga is absolutely worth it. It has a lot of scenes that weren't in the anime. Anyway, I highly recommend you watch this film if you haven't yet. It is an absolutely fantastic watch, and 10 out of 10.
Coming up next, we have the anime Charlotte, who is directed by the same director of Angel Beats. Now, Charlotte is a great series. It focuses on these characters who have abilities, and we follow you at the start of the anime who has his abilities where he can take over people for 5 seconds and then he comes back to him. A great introduction to the character, but we find out a little bit later that his ability is much more than that. Now, out of all the animes on this list, I find this one to be the most fascinating series. First off, the anime focuses on him and Naotomori and how they go and help other people with their abilities, but the anime does a complete 180 halfway through the series and it becomes an entirely different anime altogether. I really like this change. And if I had to pick a certain ability that I would love the ability of teleportation, where I could teleport from one place and end up in somewhere else. Alex, what would you like to do? What would your ability like to be? Let me know.
It's actually really hard to decide what ability I would have, because there are so many. I'd also want to find out, I probably want to find out what all of them are and decide. But I also do fancy teleportation. That'd be a really useful skill. I'd really like to be able to teleport. I'd never have to worry about being late again. I could just teleport to where I want to go. It'd be really handy. I have previously said I'd like the ability to time travel, but that would be very risky and very dangerous. Anyway, on to the anime. This anime is definitely a really good watch. I do really enjoy this anime. My favourite character of this anime would be Naotomori. I really like her character, and also Yu's sister Ayumi. Very cute and adorable. I highly recommend watching this anime for those of you that haven't seen it. Towards the end it does get quite emotional. In fact, even episodes earlier than that it gets quite sad. So if you cry a lot you might want to bring tissues, but I don't really cry, so that wasn't an issue for me at all. At least I don't cry much anyway. The last couple of episodes can get a little bit rushed, but overall, the show definitely gets a big thumbs up for me. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
And next we want to talk about another anime film, but Your Name. Your Name is a fantastic anime film that focuses on two characters of Mitsuha and Taki. And one day Mitsuha and Taki inadvertently switch bodies with each other. Mitsuha ends up in Taki's body and Taki ends up in Mitsuha's body. And it's quite hilarious to see how these characters react in these situations. Not only that, but as this is going along, as this happens multiple times in the film, they learn a bit more about each other and they start to form some kind of relationship with each other. But halfway through the film, the body swapping stops and Taki takes it upon himself to find out who was Mitsuha and wants to find out what is going on. But there is a much deeper story that is being told here, and we find out what is happening later on in the film. It's a fantastic film, and I really do like this one. Alex, what are your thoughts on Your Name?
I really love Your Name. It's definitely a fantastic anime film. This was actually one of the first anime films I ever watched, and it really blew me away. Honestly, it was truly an incredible film. For me, it's not quite one of my favourites to the level it was when I first watched it, but it is still up there for me. I do really love it. First of all, the art is visually stunning. It's one of the most pretty films to look at ever. Now, this, of course, is low priority for me. A film can look amazing, but if I'm not entertained at all, it's not going to mean much for me. So that is low priority for me, but the art is very stunning. But the storyline is also very entertaining to watch, and very good. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of body swap type stories. They've always entertained me. I have always tended to enjoy Freaky Friday, for example, and other kind of stories which involve body swaps. And I also enjoy stories involving time travel, and Your Name involves both of these tropes, both time travel and body swaps. So naturally, this was very much up my alley. And this film did not disappoint. It is definitely a really great film. It also gets quite emotional towards the end of the film as well. So, I would say be prepared for that. But yeah, I highly recommend watching Your Name. This is honestly definitely worth the watch. I would give it a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Next up we have My Love Story, one of my favourite romantic comedy animes of all time. It focuses on the characters Takeo and Rinko and their blooming romance. It starts off where Takeo doesn't think he's got a shot at a relationship, and every single girl he seems to chase down after shuts him down. All they talk about him behind his back. That is until one day where he's on a train with his friend Suna, and Suna witnesses that this young girl is getting molested by a groper on the train. Turns out that this character is Rinko, and Takeo of course intervenes and he goes and stops Rinko from being molested by this groper. And what follows is the story of their relationship and blossoming, blooming romance. I freaking adore this one. I adore the characters, I adore the story and the animation, and everything about this is complete package. It's a fantastic one. But what really like about this one the most is Takeo and Rinko's romance. It is one of the sweetest, most endearing, caring and loving and gentlest relationships I've seen in a romantic comedy anime in quite some time. Alex, over to you.
I also really love this anime called My Love Story. This is a truly wonderful anime that will just give you a big smile on your face when watching it. It's honestly just extremely wholesome and sweet. It's so sweet that watching it will basically raise your blood sugars and give you diabetes, honestly. Not literally, of course, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it is an extremely sweet anime. My favourite character in this one would actually be Takeo. He is such a gentle giant and honestly just a real cinnamon roll. Rinko is also a very adorable cinnamon roll too, and is also rather lovable. So I can see why some people would pick her as their favourite character. But for me, honestly, I have to go with Takeo. I can't remember for sure if I pronounced that right, but yeah, he has to be my favourite character. Some people have said, I have seen some people complain about Takeo's design, saying he looks really hideous and they don't want to watch the show because of it. Which, I mean, if that puts you off, fair enough, but personally, I believe that's kind of the point. He's supposed to be bad looking. That's kind of the whole point. Like, they've written the show in the way that he's had no luck with girls at all because he's not good looking and because Rinko is so far out of his league that he never suspected that she was in love with him at all at the beginning. In fact, he's even pretty dense and completely unaware of the fact that she has feelings for him, and it actually makes complete sense in this particular anime. Anyway, I highly recommend watching this anime. 9 out of 10 for me. Give it a watch.
Next up, we're diving more into Toradora, my favourite romance anime of all time, and for good reason. For those of you who do not know, that was my number one pick for my top 10 romance animes. But for those of you who have seen that, or for those of you who want a little bit more information, here's what it is. It focuses on two characters. It focuses on Ryuji Takasu and Taiga Isaka, both students in high school. At first, Ryuji and Taiga do not see eye to eye because one day Ryuji is walking down the hallway of his school and he accidentally walks bang smack into Taiga, and he didn't see her. I mean, she's so short, he's so tall, how could he possibly see her? And Taiga reacts by punching him in the chin, sending him flying on his backside. It's still one of the most hilarious introductions I have seen in an anime to date. And this is where it starts. We find out that Ryuji has got feelings for Taiga's best friend Minori, and Taiga has got feelings for Ryuji's best friend Yusaku, and the two of them form a brilliant plan to hook each other up with each other's best friends. That's where it starts at least, but somewhere down the line, halfway through the anime, Ryuji and Taiga both discover they have feelings for each other. Really do like this anime. It's one of my favourite romance animes of all time. Alex, what are your thoughts on Toradora?
Toradora was actually the very first rom-com anime I ever watched. Unless you count Your Line April as a rom-com. And I must say, I really enjoyed Toradora. I have seen it twice so far, and I almost do have a level where I rate it very favourably because it was the first rom-com I ever watched, and Taiga Asuka is also one of my favourite female characters in anime as well. Yeah, Taiga is definitely my favourite character in the anime. She is very entertaining. The way she's so feisty and aggressive and beats up the main character, not something you condone in real life, but in anime it is quite entertaining to watch, honestly. Which Lee also mentioned. On top of this, her design is super adorable. Taiga does develop a lot through the course of the series, and you do forget to find out why she is actually quite aggressive and feisty. She's definitely a cute and entertaining character. And there is also an episode about Christmas and Santa Claus in Toradora. It's one of the best anime to watch around Christmas time because of this. Which is also extremely cute, honestly. I highly recommend watching this. I would give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
And now for one of my favourite music animes of all time, K-On! I really like this anime, K-On! I really like how the story focuses on these 5 girls from the light school music clubs, and they can take ordinary activities, basically doing nothing, and make it really entertaining to see. Although they're supposed to be focusing on the music, they spend more time just hanging out with the friends, just chilling out, having tea, and just doing whatever they want to do. But I really like the characters in this anime, especially Asuza and Yui. They're my favourite 2 characters in the show. I've not quite finished this one yet, but I am working on it. I really like some of the episodes in the 2nd season, particularly where Yui and the other band members are on the trip, and it shows what they get up to. Then the next episode, it shows you what Asuza, Yui's sister, and her friends all get up to afterwards. It's really such an interesting, engaging anime for me to see. Really am liking this one. As I say, there's a lot of comedy in here. I find myself laughing hysterically at some of these characters in the anime, especially the teacher. She's really funny as well. Alex, how are your opinions on K-On!
I also really enjoy K-On! It's a very cute, entertaining anime. It's actually from the same studio that brought us A Silent Voice, Kyoto Animation. This is probably my favourite anime studio of all time, honestly, that and Studio Ghibli. The 5 main girls of this anime are all really cute and entertaining to watch. My favourite character would definitely be Yui. Just like Lee, who's mentioned his favourite characters are Yui and Asusa, so Yui would definitely be my favourite, followed by Asusa, and then possibly Mia. Yeah, Yui is definitely, she's quite an airhead, but it really adds to how cute this character is and how, innocent and adorable she is. It's very cute to watch. The anime is entertaining. It's not the easiest to binge, though. I think it's probably, because it's not, the most plot heavy. There isn't, it doesn't really have that much of a really good plot, but the characters are entertaining to watch. It's probably one to watch for maybe a few episodes a day rather than binging it, at least in my opinion. So that's one thing that I would say about it, but it is definitely a good watch. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
And now for one of my favourite animes of all time, the quintessential quintuplets. I really love this one. I've seen both seasons and the movie, and I really love how the movie wrapped up. If you haven't seen the quintessential quintuplets, you are doing yourselves a huge injustice. It focuses on Futaro, who is a high school student, and he is approached one day by Itsuki, and she asks him to tutor her, and Futaro just flat out refuses, gets up off the table and just walks away. But when he gets home, he discovers he's got a letter, and it's for a job, a tutoring job, and he's very interested, and he goes to the address, and upon going to the address, he finds out the person that he is going to tutor is, of course, Itsuki. But it's not just Itsuki. He's tutoring her and her 5 sisters, and this is fantastic. It really has a lot going for the anime. Yes, there is funny anime moments, but there's a lot of drama in this one too. I really do like the bond that these sisters have with each other, and the way that the story develops over time and how it progresses further and further is fantastic to see in all of its glory. Love how this one wrapped up. Alex, what did you think of the quintessential quintuplets?
The quintessential quintuplets is probably my favourite harem anime series of all time, honestly. Along with the Monogatari series, if you count that as harem. I love the 5 main girls in the show. They're all adorable, like their designs are all adorable. The only way to tell them apart is with the hairstyles and the hair colours. The hair colours are all different, although I think that's only shown to the viewer, that they're all different. I think in the actual anime, to the characters, the hair colours are all the same, as they are identical quintuplets, really. My favourite of the girls is definitely Miku, followed by Nino, then Yotsuba. These are my top 3 quintessential quintuplets. Big fan of both seasons and the film that came after it. All very highly worth watching. I really like the bond between the 5 sisters, like Lee mentioned as well. And there are also a lot of funny moments in the anime and some good drama too. Yotsuba is also a very entertaining, energetic character, and by the film especially, she did become one of my favourite characters. But I won't spoil what happens in the film. Anyway, the anime is great. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Next up, we are talking about Date A Live. Date A Live is a fantastic series for so many reasons. First of all, I do like the premise of Date A Live. It focuses on the character of Shido Itsuka, who is appointed by his sister to save these sentient beings named as spirits, and preventing them from causing major destruction upon the world. And he finds out the only way that he can do that is to romance the spirits and make them fall in love with him, so he can seal the powers inside his body. Really interesting premise, but the spirits have their own unique personalities. Some spirits are good spirits, some spirits are evil spirits, and Shido is thrown against all the chaos and tries to romance each and every single one of them. I really like Shido as a character, but I like his relationship with Toka. She is my favourite of the spirits in the anime. I like all of your characters as well, but Toka is one that actually stood out to me because of her curious nature, her cutesy moments, her hilarious moments. She's just so curious, and she's such a delight, and she's such a joy to see it on screen. I haven't quite finished this one yet. I've still got season 5 to go, but I do plan on watching that very soon. Alex, what do you think of Date A Live?
Date A Live is definitely a very entertaining anime for sure. It was actually the first harem anime I ever watched, and at the time I did really enjoy it. I definitely don't think it's a masterpiece or anything. It's not like one of the best anime. It's not like a super really great anime like some of these others are, but it is a fun, entertaining watch. And the premise of the show, which involves Shido basically having to make the spirits all fall in love with him in order to be able to seal their powers, is actually a very interesting premise. Lee mentioned his favourite is Toka. I also really like Toka, but my favourite spirit has to be Kurumi Tokasaki. She's quite a dangerous spirit who, can kill people when she feels it's necessary to do so. And her design, love her design. like very beautiful, her design. And you know, her whole character is just very entertaining to watch, and she steals the show with every second that she's on screen. But she doesn't have a ton of screen time in the show, unfortunately. I mean, she's in all of the seasons, but like her screen time is fairly minimal. But when she's on, it's definitely very, very worth your time. In fact, she's probably the most popular character in the show, despite her lack of screen time, honestly. And when you reach season 4, you can understand her more by season 4. An 8-ish out of 10, maybe 7.5 possibly out of 10. It's a fun watch.
And last but certainly not least, we are going to be revisiting another romantic comedy anime. And what a way to end this one. We are going to be talking about Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions. As I said at the beginning of this video, Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions focuses on the character of Rika, who is a character who is suffering from Chunibyo, and she thinks she's some kind of a warrior in a different world, and she's finding it very, very difficult to integrate into the real world. But when she meets the character Yuta one night, when she climbs onto his balcony, and she says to him, "Did you see? Do you want to see?" That's the first thing that she says to him as a character. I really like that moment in the anime, and from here on out, we focus on him and Rika's relationship blossoming on screen, and how Yuta is finding it hard to cope with Rika with her Chunibyo, considering he suffered with Chunibyo himself a few years ago, and now he's having to force himself to kind of go back to it to help Rika overcome it. Really do like this one. I've completed this one as well. I've seen both seasons and the movie. If you like romantic comedy anime, give this one a go. It's great. It's so funny, but there's a lot of heartwarming moments as well. And there's some actual deeper moments in this one where you will probably tear up, especially with when you find out a little bit more about Rika's past and why she is the way she is. Really have a special place in my heart for the show and the movie. Alex, over to you.
Chunibyo is my favourite rom-com anime of all time. I'm a very, very big fan of this anime. It's also from the same studio that brought us A Silent Voice and KR, Kyoto Animation. Really love that studio, as I mentioned before. Rika is also in my top 5 favourite anime characters of all time. Really love her character. She is so adorable in both her design and her personality. Like, the way she's such a wholesome character, and the way she believes that she's this, she's from this other world, and yeah, it's just so entertaining and cute to watch. The romance between her and Yuta, it's very, very sweet and wholesome. It's just like my love story. Highly recommend watching Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions. Big fan of this anime. The movie also makes for, or the film, as we Brits say, also makes for a great finale to the anime too. Highly recommend watching Take On Me after you've seen the anime series before the anime film. I would give this anime a 9.5 out of 10. Big fan. I actually still haven't, I've only watched it once. It is one I still need to rewatch, which I haven't got round to yet. I don't rewatch anime super often, but it is one that I do definitely plan to rewatch. I was hoping to maybe rewatch it before doing these segments, doing this video, but you know, watching 2 seasons and a film, I thought like there might not be quite enough time to really do that and get it out ready soon enough. So I haven't done that as of yet, but it's definitely one I do need to rewatch at some point. Let me know what you think of Love, Chunibyo and Other Delusions in the comments below. Thank you for watching.
And there we have, everybody. Those are some animes that I found interesting throughout the years of my life, and that's why I've decided to make this video with my friend Alex today. And I really, really hope that you guys have enjoyed this journey with me and Alex as we've dove into these animes and provide a little bit more of insight about these. Alex, would you like to say anything before we wrap this one up?
Thank you for having me on your channel, Lee. It's been a real honour to be talking about these anime with you. I do hope the rest of you have enjoyed this video, and do check out the anime that we've recommended, or if you've seen any of them, please do let us know what you think of them in the comments below. And Like I mentioned at the beginning, you can find my channel at Chocolate Is Nice. I'm sure he'll put the link in the description. I'm thinking of posting a review for Silent Voice soon on that very channel. Thank you all for watching. Take care, goodbye for now.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for this video today. I just want to take a time to say a huge thank you to those of you for watching the video, especially to those of you who stuck around to the end. Thank you for watching all the way through, and also a huge thank you to my friend Alex from Chocolate Is Nice for doing this collab video with me. You're a legend and I really do appreciate it. That is it for today, my friends, but before I go, I want you to do me a favour, head on over to Alex's channel, drop him a subscription, and go and show him some love and watch a few of his videos. And before I go, if you like what you see and you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more, please consider hitting the subscribe button below and ticking the little bell notification next to it so you'll be updated every time I upload a new video. And give this video a like and stick around because I do have more videos coming to the channel very soon. I'm out here, my friends, and I'll speak to you all on the next video. Peace.